Okay, hello and welcome most importantly to this new channel. Recommissioning my dad's 1993 XJ6 3.2. We've owned the car since 2005 and for the last pretty much 9 years the car has lived in that garage there. It spent the first probably 10 years, yeah, I'd say less than that actually. Last tax disc was 2011, so for 6 years it was used regularly. It'd go down to Eastbourne every day, and yeah, my dad loved it, but things change, fuel prices go up, my dad gets older, he can't get in it, and it's pretty much lived in the garage. So it's lockdown and work is quiet for me for what I do day to day, so I figured it was time to get this car back up and running on the road again. It's of huge sentimental value to me. I bought it for my dad for his 60th birthday, and it's now 2020 and it was bought in 2015, and it's a two-owner car. We bought it at 69,000. It's only done 82,000, and it's literally last MOT I believe was around about 6 years ago. Yeah, it must be about 6 years ago. So it has pretty much just stayed indoors undercover. It's what I'd call a 10-footer. It looks fantastic from 10 feet away, but when you get around it, you can see there's a few issues with it. So the process of this video is basically to get behind and show some love for the XJ6. It's a beautiful car, and for all you fellow car enthusiasts out there, classic car enthusiasts, hub nutters, furious driving, iDriver Classic, and all the other guys out there, why not get behind this? Give me some advice. I tinker about the cars. I'm certainly no welder. I don't know, I wouldn't like to say I'm a mechanic, but what I do I service and change brake pads and rear shocks and other bits and pieces, so all advice would be greatly appreciated. So I'm just going to go around and show you some more bits and pieces about the car and problem areas, and get you guys to get an insight of possible areas that I might be struggling with. Let's just press pause on that. Okay, so first thing I'll be doing will be giving it a service. So I've got myself 8 litres of oil, got myself some injection cleaner, new oil filter, air filter, spark plugs. The battery's been, where are we? The battery's been charged, and I've put 10 litres of fresh unleaded in there. We did put a new battery on the car 8 years ago. It was the best part of 150 quid. The car is started probably twice a year, moved out the garage twice a year, but typically, as you would expect, quite rightly, the battery doesn't hold its charge anymore. So I've gone and got myself an eBay charger, no, Amazon charger, and thankfully it's holding good charge now. But I don't want to start the car, run the car up properly till it gets all these new fluids in there, and I'll probably be flushing out the brakes as well. The brake with some new .5, is it? .4.1, and other areas that obviously, if you think I need to look into, give us a shout, as well as coolant, quite obviously. So looking around the car is 82,000 miles. Obviously it's nearly 30 years old, and it's that shape, that XJ shape with the chrome, the quad headlamps. It's got quite a deep valance there, but obviously it's no 3.2, but it just sits low. It's just got a great stance to it. Like I say, it was last taxed in 2011. It's got the optional cross-spoke wheels with the ridiculous tyres, the 225/60 15s. Try finding those for a reasonable price. But yeah, gold coach line there. It is, as you can see, used as, unfortunately, not a skip, but we place things in it rather than on it. We've got the boot full of bits and pieces. Okay, and as I was saying about the boot being full of bits and pieces, it doesn't lock. One of the big things we had with this was the central locking decided to give up. I haven't got round to changing the barrel on that, and the fuel filler cap never locked. So any advice on that would be great, because the fuel filler cap would remain open, and along with the central locking, it would really drain the charge, which got to the point where the battery just wasn't holding charge for more than a week unless it was driven. So we did used to disconnect the battery. But yeah, there's a Slight bit of cosmetic damage. My dad is of senior years. Let's get rid of that. How professional is this? We have a push in the rear bumper there, and you can see here the hanger. The bracket is, look at that, well past its best. So I have been trying to source a rear bumper, but basically a rear bumper would make a huge difference on freshening that up, and the electric aerial decided to give up. That could be a fuse, it could just be re-greasing, but it used to work beautifully. But the rest of the car is in good nick. It had brand new tyres on there. You can see the tread on those. I mean, they're in great nick for its last MOT, which was, like I say, 9 years ago. But yeah, it's a two-owner car, and other than the sentimental value, it's just one of those cars that you just don't see anymore. It's like an old, I don't know, ex-Prime Minister's car, shall we say, of the Tory government. And yeah, it's just got a presence about it, it's got a charm, and it just drives so beautifully. Okay, under the bonnet it's more of the same. It is straight, it is not leaking, it's tight. Like I say, it's turned over probably 3 times a year and run up to temperature. But when I first got it in 2005, I spent a couple of weekends and it was so clean you could literally eat your dinner off it. The aluminium, the heat shield over the manifolds on the far side there, was so sparkly. But yeah, it's something I'm going to look forward to. Toothbrush, a bit of gunk, a bit of elbow grease, and get this back up to how it should be. So in there we're going to put the new air filter in, put the new 6 spark plugs in there, oil filters here underneath the housing, jack it up. I think it's what, a 19mm sump plug. So I've got one of those socket set, and get it back up into running. Obviously typically the lights aren't working on the bonnet. They did when we bought it, but I'm very much looking forward into it. Getting involved, as I would say, getting involved. So if you get behind Furious Driving or Hubnut or Steph I Drive a Classic, this might be of interest to you. I'm no YouTuber. I'm a confidence and empowerment coach. I'm a speaker day by day, but I've got a lot of time on my hands, and this car has real sentimental value to me, so I'm really looking forward to getting involved in it. And bit of we got a bit of bubbling going on there, but that purely, as it drops out, is mud. And I don't know why it's mud, because I've been under there, but it's starting to crack a bit and it's starting to blow. But the rest of the car is pretty good. We've got a few marks and nicks. This here, classy, doesn't stay on. That was reversed into, but this was a replacement one we bought years ago. But yeah, it's an old car. It's nearly 30 years old, and it just looks the nuts. So inside the car, it's more of the same. It is used as storage rather than placing bits and pieces on top of the car. My dad chooses to place it inside it. Obviously the headlining, as you can see, I've temporarily put a few drawing pins in there, staples, dare I say. It's pretty much like any Jag and SD1. I've had plenty of SD1s, and you'll know what I mean by sagging headline. But everything in here works. The electric seats work, all the lights work, the windows work, the climate control works. It's all bob on. But one thing we haven't got, or we have got, which is a bit of a problem, the radio code, which we still have there. If you can see it. That seems to be temperamental. It is all factory fresh. There's nothing aftermarket in here. The wood veneer hasn't faded over time or cracked or crazed because it's been kept inside a garage. It's just a timeless place. I don't know if you would class this as poverty spec, but it is obviously the half cloth, half leather, or leather effect. But it just feels right. Everything about it just feels right, and I have many fond memories wafting down the A22 on the A24 on the way to Hastings or Eastbourne to see my grandmother back in the day. 82,000 miles. It's not too much of a Christmas tree when you turn the lights on. We've got a few warning lights, but I won't fire up the car till I get it serviced, and that'll be on the next video. So as I turn the ignition on now, What we got going on there? There we go. Bit of fuel in there. I know we've got a couple of brake lights out. Is that an electrical charge light? Not sure about that. The boot, as you can see, doesn't close, and obviously the oil will go out. But yeah, generally it's not too bad. It fires up like a Jag. It purrs like a Jag. It's so quiet. I think we got a clonking from the front right drop link, which shouldn't be a problem. I've recently done it on the MG ZT, which is my daily driver, diesel, which wasn't too bad a job. So if you want to get behind the video, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Really look forward to any comments regarding your experiences with these cars. I'm no mechanic, but I do service, brakes, discs, pads, shock absorbers, change the exhaust and bits and pieces. I prefer the older stuff rather than the plug-in stuff. And look forward to any comments or advice regarding getting this back on the road and what to look out for. So give us some support, give us some love, and look forward to catching up with you next week when I shall be underneath the car, hopefully with a better tripod, hopefully with some better sound, and crucially, stay home, stay safe, keep being amazing. Cheers, bye.